Hello everyone, welcome to AgriAddict, an online platform where the PhD and the MSc students provide you with the video lectures, regular mock test and the discussion which will boost your preparation and also help you to crack the ICAR JRF Plant Sciences exam. So today we have Pallavi, the ICAR JRF topper in the Plant Science 2022, who will be sharing her preparation strategy with us. So first of all, my wholehearted congratulations on achieving the 9th rank. Best wishes to you, Pallavi.
Thank you, sir.
Please give us a quick introduction about yourself.
Hello, everyone. This is Pallavi. I secured All India Rank 9 in this year ICAR JRF Plant Sciences examination. I have completed my graduation from GB Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pandey, Uttarakhand.
So please start by mentioning the different subjects under plant sciences and tell us more about your preparation. Like why did you choose the plant science as a subject? Next, when and how did you plan to start your preparation? And also about your all-round strategy.
As you all know that plant science is a vast subject group, so you have to cover a lot of subjects like genetics, plant breeding, plant pathology, seed technology, microbiology, crop physiology, general agriculture and agriculture current affairs. I started my preparation from third year onwards. Actually, in third year, I was interested in pathology. That's why I chose this subject for my future studies. And talking about my overall strategy, I tried to complete my syllabus subject-wise and prepared short notes for revision. As plant science is a vast subject group, so you have to prepare notes for last time revision. And I also used to discuss with my friends few topics daily that helped me a lot in maintaining consistency and understanding the concepts clearly.
So before we go into the details of each subject, I want to hear from you about the mistakes you made or the approaches you believe could have been improved to make your preparation easier.
One thing I would like to mention is that I focus more on genetics and plant breeding. Means I read these subjects in depth, but I think up to some extent I didn't give equal weightage to seed science and pathology. But this year, NT asked in-depth questions from pathology and seed technology, which I did those questions wrong. So this is the one mistake I think I did. And I skipped some tables from PK Agrawal book and from where questions were asked. And in-depth questions this year were more from pathology. So I think I have to do more work on that.
Now you can discuss the details of each subject under plant science one by one, such as books and notes you referred, about the important areas or the topics to be covered, and any other things that you feel are important.
Okay, so now for genetics, I refer genetics by BD Singh, and I covered chapter 1 to chapter 25 from this book. And you have to cover all these chapters thoroughly as it includes history, cytology, cytogenetics, chromosomal aberration, structural and numerical, then Mendelian genetics, then gene interaction. Gene interaction chapter is very important. You have to focus on dihybrid ratios, test cross ratio and examples given in this chapter. And then multiple alleles you have to cover, and there is one chapter population genetics. And in this chapter, you have to more focus on definitions like genetic drift, bottleneck effect, gene frequency, etc. And you have to solve numerical problems from this chapter. Then comes mutation chapter. And now NT asked more questions from probability part also. So you have to prepare basics of probability with respect to genetics like blood relation question, gamete formation question like that. And now comes molecular genetics. I joined Hari Prasad sir classes for genetics. And I referred these class notes from molecular genetics, and I also read molecular genetics from Genetics Made Easy by Kalyani publication. And for objective purpose, I referred objective genetics by BD Singh and BK Bisht. This is all about genetics. Now for plant breeding, I referred BD Singh book, but I think it's not compulsory to read BD Singh. One can also go for Kundan Singh. But one thing you have to do in plant breeding is focus more on understanding the concept rather than just cramming. I covered whole BD Singh except a few chapters like breeding for biotic and abiotic stress. And for this biotic and abiotic stress, I referred Kundan Singh. And I also skipped the molecular part from BD Singh and read that from YouTube and prepared notes and revised them. Talking about important topics which you need to cover in plant breeding is domestication, introduction, germplasm conservation of various crops, pollination control, male sterility, self-incompatibility like that, and the mode of reproduction of various crops, quantitative and qualitative characters, breeding methods in self-pollinated crops, and as well as in cross-pollinated crops. And there is one chapter, heterosis and inbreeding depression. In 2020 and 2021 also, there are numerical questions asked from this chapter, so you have to prepare that part also. Next is mutation breeding, which is also important chapter, and you have to read some basics of idiotype breeding. And in the last of BDC, there are some important chapters like quality seed. Read this chapter thoroughly because it's important for seed technology also. And there is one chapter about procedure of release of new varieties and also IPR chapter. And IPR chapter is very important and you have to focus on UPO, PBR and PPV FR Act like this. And for biotic and abiotic stress breeding, I would suggest to focus on examples and varieties, like which variety of rice, wheat, cotton, etc. resistant to which disease and pest and salinity tolerance. And for quality breeding also, you have to focus on definitions and examples only. Don't waste your time in reading whole chapter because it's of no use. And this year, questions from biotechnology are quite tough, so read biotech also. And I read biotech only from BD Singh. And for objective purpose, I referred Objective Plant Breeding by BD Singh and BK Prashad. And I didn't solve all the objectives from the book, and I solved questions only of those topics which I read from book. There are some high level questions also which you need not to cover. And I would suggest to read appendix part, which is given on the back of objective book, and revise it daily because you have to mug up that part. Now for plant pathology, I read fungi, bacteria and viruses by H.C. Dubey, but mainly I focused on Angry notes. There are 4 PDF of Angry notes, 2 are for basics and 2 are for diseases part. I read first PDF for basics and classification part, and I referred second PDF for disease cycle, different sections of support, various control methods like physical control, chemical control, mechanical control, biochemical control like that. And second PDF is more important and try to remember all the examples given in second PDF. And during the last months, I also read a book that is Plant Pathology and Overview by Sharma and Kocher. It's a kind of one-liner book, and there are short notes given in this book. So you can also follow this book. And as the trends of questions from last few years in pathology is quite unpredictable. Like this year, they gave 5 books and their authors in matchup, which I think no one knew about that. And in classification part also, be prepared up to family and class, but they asked questions up to tribe level. So if you want to get an edge over other students, so read pathology in depth. And I do not use any objective book for pathology. For disease part also, I referred Anglo notes and covered only specific crops like wheat, rice, cotton, sorghum, and some important vegetables, etc. This is all about pathology. Now for seed technology, I referred Principles of Seed Technology by P.K. Agrawal and also Seed Science and Technology at a Glance by Venu Devan and Vijay Lakshmi. For seed technology, I would suggest to no need to vast your sources, read limited, but revise more because more of factual questions are asked like history, acts, bills, isolation distance, germination percentage, moisture content percentage, like that. And you can also follow in Indian Minimum Seed Certification Standards PDF for all these tables. I wrote all these things at a place and revised them daily for this. And this is all about seed technology. Now microbiology. I referred first 5 and last 5 chapters of Toro and Kapoor. It's enough for exam, and I would request you to give more focus on basics of microbes like fungi, bacteria, viruses, etc. Be very clear with their structures. This year, 2 questions were asked about structural differences of outer and inner cell wall of bacteria, their porins, etc. It is also covered in your pathology part, and in the last chapter of that book, it covers microbes used in industry, either in fermentation, antibiotics, food processing, etc. And there, in the last, there is one chapter, biogas production, which is very important chapter, so you have to read that also. That's all about microbiology, and now comes plant physiology. For plant physiology, I referred Ellen module, and I focus more on basic concepts of photosynthesis, respiration, cycles from these chapters, total gain and loss of ATP, and PGR, plant growth regulators, you have to cover from that book. And I also solved objectives from Ellen module. And for general agriculture, I referred Nina Sunda book, and we discussed general agriculture in group and spent 1 hour daily on it. So you can also prepare like that. And for agriculture current affairs, I joined some Telegram groups that I go through on daily basis. And this year, 4 questions were asked from agriculture current affairs part, like on GI tag, recently released varieties by PM, like that. So prepare current affairs also along with your syllabus. This is all about the books and sources that I use during my preparation.
Next, I have a one important question for you. Like, according to you, what should be the approach of a student in attending the questions in the examination hall?
Okay, sir. Okay, so I will share what I did was in first go, I did all the questions of which I was 100% sure, and then I applied elimination method, and then I again checked some unattempted question and find if any I should attempt, and I left all those questions about which I never heard of. This year, the pattern of exam is very different from last year, like more of conceptual questions were asked. So I would only suggest that don't limit yourself in advance about how much question you would attempt in exam. Cutoff varies according to the level of exam, so focus more on accuracy rather than attempting more. And I would suggest to take reference from previous year paper, but don't make up your mind that you would also get same pattern of questions. So you have to do only just cover your syllabus timely and revise as much as you can and be confident, because if exam is tough, it's tough for everyone.
Okay. At last, give your overall suggestions to all the JRF aspirants who have started their preparation or those who are willing to start.
Okay, sir. First of all, I would say go through the syllabus first and choose a subject according to your interest, because it would be for your higher studies also. And try to make a group of like-minded people and be consistent during the preparation. Set your daily targets and try to complete it within a time frame. And revision is very important as syllabus is very vast. So do revision maximum times and as much as you can. That's all. And at last, I would like to thank Agri ICAR JRF team for providing me this platform to share my inputs with you all. And I would like to pay my sincere gratitude to Hari Prasad sir, who taught me genetics during my preparation. And he was always there to clear my doubts whenever I asked him. Thank you for your guidance and effort, sir, and wishing all the best to all the future upcoming JRF aspirants. That's all. Thank you.
You are most welcome. So it was very nice interaction, Pallavi. Thank you so much for such a clear and detailed information. I believe this video will definitely help all the upcoming JRF aspirants. All the very best for your future studies and thank you again.